But the only emotions that this man feels are angry and rageful and horny. But not every book is gonna be a winner. He's such a grumpy little grump, and I'm obsessed with that in books. I love grumpy characters. What's up, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Tori. If you're new, I'm so happy that you're here. We are starting a weekly reading challenge vlog because I'm not gonna lie, I have some lofty goals for my TBR this week. Basically, I overcommitted myself to a bunch of buddy reads, but in the background, I have to be reading other books that are on like my monthly TBR. It's a lot. I keep going back and forth between what number I want to commit to. I'm going to say 125 pages every day. It's likely that I will need to read over 125 pages every day if I really want to like smash my goals this week. However, we will just say 125 pages every day. So I hope that you're excited. If you are, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and let's have a little chatty get ready with me while I talk about this week. Also, if I'm looking this way, I'm doing my makeup in a mirror, so that's why. I am in the middle of reading The Bone Witch by Rin Chupeco, which I am absolutely loving. That was a book that was on my 22 books for 2022. And I don't know what it was, but like you literally could not have paid me to read that book last year. I had it on so many monthly TBRs and I was just like, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood. Started reading it, absolutely obsessed with it. Like, it is so good and I'm so excited to continue on with that series now. I'm hoping that I'll be able to finish it today. On Monday, I would like to start a buddy read with my friend Val, and we're gonna be buddy reading The Queen of Myth and Monsters, which is the new book by Scarlett St. Clair. It's the second book in the Adrian and Isolde series. The first book was King of Battle and Blood. Now, that book is just over 300 pages, so I feel like it's gonna be very easy to absolutely devour that book. Didn't read any more of Queen of Myth and Monsters because I don't like it. And then I have another buddy read. We're gonna be buddy reading The Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent, I think is her name. And that book is like 500 pages. Everything is fine. It's gonna be great. The other goal that I'm working on this week is to really reestablish a good, I'm gonna say morning routine, but really it's like a daily routine. I think I mentioned in one of my vlogs during Bookmas that for a while, like it's been a couple months, I haven't been doing a good job of just being in a routine that makes me feel good. So this week I'm focusing on baby steps. We're gonna start with establishing a really good morning routine. So this morning what I did, I kind of drafted what my ideal morning routine would look like. For me, I start work a little bit later in my day. I start work at 11 a.m. and I work from home. So that gives me more flexibility to have like a really productive morning. Basically, I want to incorporate walking for a mile, doing like an incline walk for a mile each morning. And then the other thing that I did this morning that made me feel really nice was journal. So obviously like I have my book bullet journal that I share with y'all. I also do like a personal journal where I just write about like my affirmations, my goals, what I'm trying to manifest. If I have any intrusive thoughts or like anxious thoughts, I also really like to write them in my journal. It really helps me to get it out of my head and just leave it on the page. I'm gonna do my mascara, finish up my makeup, and then I'll check in with y'all in a little bit when we read some of The Bone Witch, and we're finishing it today. We're gonna do it and smash it, and it's gonna be great. Yesterday. So I ended up reading over my 125 page goal. I read 158 pages of The Bone Witch. I ended up finishing that book. which I'm very happy about. And then I read the first 20 pages of The Queen of Myth and Monsters. I realized yesterday that I really never talked about The Bone Witch by Rin Chapeko because I was already so far into the book, but this is the first book in a series, and we follow our main character, Tia, who is a witch who can basically do necromancy, so she can raise the dead. And that type of magic, it's not necessarily looked down upon in the society. It's normal. Like, people know that there are bone witches, and there's also a lot of other types of witches, more like elemental type witches. But bone witches basically do the most dangerous jobs, and people are more scared, I think, of bone witches than they are of the other ashas that do like elemental magic. So Tia has to leave her home once she discovers that she has this power and go to a different city completely new to her and train with this, like, it's kind of like a witch's academy, but I feel like that doesn't give it the right vibe. And it's told in one of my favorite ways to tell a story. It's like a dual timeline. We meet Tia when she's like, everything has already happened, and she has this like visiting bard that comes to see her, and he's like, tell me your story. And so she recounts her story of the past 2 years. So you kind of are seeing glimpses of her in the future after everything's happened, and you're like, okay, why is she where she is? Empire of the Vampire was told in a very similar, if not the same exact type of way. You're getting these flashbacks of different timelines and flash forwards as well. I find that so captivating, especially because this book was a little bit more slower paced than I was expecting. However, the end gets very, very intense. Like, I'm definitely bought in. Last night I was looking at, okay, how much are the other 2 books in this trilogy, because I want to binge read them, and then I was like, you've bought enough books lately, you need to slow your roll. Total yesterday I read 176 pages, and I'm very proud of that number. Hi besties, sorry that all of my updates are from my desk, but we're working, we're listening to this audiobook, we're just vibing. I'm now 28% of the way through Queen of Myth and Monsters. I'm not loving it, but that being said, I really didn't love the first one that much. I think I gave the first book 3 stars. However, this one does have more plot right from the start, which I am definitely enjoying. It's a very cliche vampire romance story, and I'm not crazy about Adrian. He feels very flat to me. He is morally gray. He identifies as a monster. So even though he's a vampire, he's not trying to be like moral and righteous and like fight against his own nature. He's just embracing his own nature. But the only emotions that this man feels are angry and rageful and horny. And every time Adrian and Isolde have any type of conversation about anything, they end up having sex afterwards, and you're just like, okay. It's not my favorite type of romance because I like romances where our love interests have more of an emotional connection with each other, whereas in this one, it's a much more physical connection for the both of them, and then Adrian is helping her navigate this world that she's in because he kind of acts as her protector and her guider. And then something happens pretty early on in the book, but I don't want to give any spoilers, but that's another way that they become more similar. And so then he's also helping her figure that aspect of herself out as well. I was 18 pages in when I started, so I still have to read another about 40 pages to hit my 125 for the day. So I think I'm gonna read the last 40 pages when I am done with work, and hopefully I can get a little bit more connected with the story. morn, my friends. Happy Tuesday, or whatever day it is for you. So, as you would have just seen, yesterday I ended up reading 90 pages. I didn't read any more of Queen of Myth and Monsters because I don't like it. I just did not want to continue with it. I had no desire to pick it up. I'm trying to break myself of this habit of where I know that I'm not enjoying a book and I just suffer through it and like continue with it when I have so many other books that like I really want to read. So I'm putting down a Queen of Myth and Monsters for right now, and I have two options to pick up. The first one being Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Y'all, don't punch me in the face that I haven't read this yet. Like, I know. I think I'm gonna start with this one. I'm going to read like 50 or so pages, see if I'm feeling it, which hopefully I will be, and then I'll be like, yep, we're sticking with this one. But if I'm not super in the mood for Legendborn right now, I also have The Empress of Time by Kylie Lee Baker. This is the second book in the Keeper of the Night duology. I also have the audiobook for this one. We love to have options, you know what I mean? I'm going to read some of this, and then I will update you of whether or not I'm going to be sticking with it or not, but I feel like we will be. Hello my friends, I have some amazing news about Legendborn. So yesterday I hit my 125 pages. I read to page 128. I'm on chapter 15. I am loving this book. It feels like I was sucked in and invested in the story right from the very beginning. I'm also loving the pacing. I'm loving the characters. I love Nick and I love Sel. You know when you pick up a book and you're just enjoying it so much, and you realize that the past couple books have just been a slew of such mid books, and then you finally get to one that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm reading this. It doesn't even feel like I'm reading a book. Like, it feels like I'm just in the story. That's how I feel with this, and it's really putting into perspective how bad Queen of Myth and Monsters was. So I have officially DNF'd that book. I'm not going to be returning to it, so it's a little unfortunate, but not every book is going to be a winner. But this one is a winner. I think that the Secret Society, it's still a little bit confusing, but it's not too bad. And I have a very rudimentary understanding of Arthurian lore from watching the show Merlin. I just love that show and the Talking Dragon. But anyways, I'm following along. I feel like the structure of the Secret Society is still a little bit confusing to me, but it's kind of like we're learning as our main character Bree is learning, so I know that as the book continues, we're going to continue to get more and more information. Right now I'm gonna make my second coffee of the day so that I can power through some of these meetings, and then I'll catch up with y'all a little bit later when I start to read again. Good morning, friends. It is now Thursday, and I have some bad news about yesterday. I didn't read absolutely anything at all, which was really annoying because it's not that I didn't want to read. I'm like super invested in Legendborn, but work was so worky yesterday and just so gross that after I logged off, I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna read anything and have like a mush night and just like watch Gilmore Girls. I knew that if I started reading, I would have been distracted with other thoughts the entire time. Rather than overthinking and annoying myself, I'm just going to like not read and focus on Gilmore Girls and TikToks and stuff like that. Today, my goal is to catch up on my pages, which I don't usually do when I do these challenges, but I'm so into this book and I really want to like keep my pacing with it. So My goal today is to read 250 pages. That being said, I'm running way behind on my morning routine, so I need to take JMO outside. I'm going to be listening to my audiobook for Legendborn while I go walk on the treadmill to do my mile. Then I don't really have anything else to do before I log into work today, so I should be able to get a really good chunk of Legendborn read right now, and then I will also have time later today to obviously continue reading. So that's the plan. We're gonna kill it. It's a great day to have a great day. Read 88 pages since my last check-in. I basically just listened to this audiobook when I did my morning walk this morning, when JMO and I went outside, and then for the first little part of my work day, I didn't have any meetings and I was just like doing reporting and stuff like that, so I was listening to it. Chapter 24 has been my favorite chapter so far. Finding out about the roots was very, very interesting. I'm just gonna leave it at that because no spoilers, but that's something that I was not expecting at all. I feel like the magic system in this world just continues to develop and get better and better and better and better, and I am living. I really want to learn more about the roots, and I'm almost to part 3. I'm only one chapter away from part 3, which is roots. So y'all best believe we're gonna continue reading. Look at this little nugget with his head tucked in. So I've read 144 pages today of Legendborn. I'm currently at chapter 30, and I think that's going to be my stopping point for today, at least right now. And then I wanted to give myself a little bit of a brain break, so I picked up The Sprite and the Gardener by Ree Abrego, who is a Latina artist who is absolutely incredible. This was the cutest graphic novel ever. It's about like horticulture, so like gardening, and it's about these little like flower sprites who, ever since humans took over gardening, they feel like they're not needed anymore because they help to make flowers bloom and like treat the plants so that they grow in like their best way and stuff like that. But humans kind of took over that task with gardening. But there's this one little sprite who is brave enough to venture into this garden that really needs some help, and she makes friends with the human that's trying to garden and not doing the best job. So cute. The illustration style was absolutely gorgeous. I showed y'all a couple clips, but I highly recommend The Sprite and the Gardener. It was so adorable. So that was an additional 88 pages. We're so close to hitting our 250 page goal for the day. I'm starting my buddy read today of The Daughter of No Worlds with one of my friends, and that is by Carissa Broadbent. And we are reading, our goal is to read 75 pages of that book today. So if I add 75 pages to that, I'm gonna be over 300 pages for the day. I'm going to make some lunch because I am absolutely starving. I have to get back to work. So I think after work tonight, my goal is gonna be to start on Daughter of No Worlds. Sorry, before I make lunch, I wanted to do a check-in of Legendborn and then just completely forgot. So we've found out a lot more about Cell since my last check-in, and I love him. I understand that he's being such a meanie head to Bree throughout this entire like first half of the book, but we found out some juicy information about him and I love him. And he's tall, dark, handsome, has tattoos, has these amber eyes. He has certain appeals to him, and I'm just like, I love Nick. I also love Cell. I love them both so much. So that's been really fun. It is my weekend officially, so I'm really, really excited because I feel like over today and tomorrow I'm gonna be able to finish some books. And I'm obviously loving Legendborn, so the goal today is to finish Legendborn. I also read 75 pages, the first 75 pages of The Daughter of No Worlds last night by Carissa Broadbent. I was sucked in from the prologue and then the first chapter. I'm obsessed with it. We're following our main character. Her name is Tasana, and she has had a really difficult life. So when she was really young, her village got invaded by slavers. They basically decided who they were going to take into slavery, and then they killed everyone else. So she had to leave behind the people that she loved. She volunteered herself for slavery because she knew otherwise she was going to die. And then we catch up with her 8 years later after that scene, and this is the start of her whole journey. We're getting her hair done today, which I'm very excited about because she needs some help. So that's why we have natural hair right now. So I'm sorry if it looks a mess. I had to wash it last night so my hairdresser wouldn't get mad at me, but that is the plan. Okay, bestie queens, sorry I have to like scooch down, but this is the new hair. We did some really cute like curtain bangy face framing pieces, which I'm obsessed with, and then we just went lighter. I'm obsessed with my hair. My girl absolutely stinking kills it every single time. She's so cute. I was able to read more of Daughter of No Worlds. The way that I'm actually so invested and obsessed with Tasana, I think that she's such a good character that you just really fall in love with right away because she's such an underdog. I don't know, I made this connection, but I don't really know how to describe it. So if I don't like explain this very well, I'm sorry, but hopefully you'll know what I'm saying. You know how in ACOTAR, we really liked Feyre because she couldn't read. It really impacted certain scenes in the book, and then in the second book, it was like this whole thing that was really funny. Well, Tasana is in this new country and she's like struggling with the language, and I really enjoy the way that the author has like incorporated that into the dialogue, where sometimes she's like, I'm struggling to think of like this word in this language, and so she says sentences and the other characters kind of like, what are you trying to say? Like, I don't understand. And it's just really endearing. Like, it makes the reader, I think, fall in love with that character just a little bit more and make her kind of relatable in a sense. Like, I just think it's so good. It's so good. It's a little bit slow to start off with, but I'm hoping that once we get farther into the book, there's gonna be like a lot of action happening. I'm over 100 pages into Daughter of No Worlds, and I really just want to binge read it. Hello, I have read only 4 more chapters of Legendborn. Oh my gosh, actually saying that out loud is appalling. I've been very distracted with phone calls and then watching TikToks and doing stupid shit. But anyways, so I'm now on page 324. I'll say I'm really enjoying the trials. I'm sad that in this section, so I'm in part 3, and part 3 was called Roots. I feel like we really haven't learned that much more yet about Roots, which is confusing to me. Her relationship with Cell is starting to get a little bit, it's like it's completely flipped from what it was to what it's turning into, and I'm really, it's just a very abrupt shift, and so I'm a little bit confused at this point because like, where's the change coming from? I need to actually focus because I am finishing this tonight. Like, I only have this much left. I'm gonna do a recap of Friday, and then also I'm gonna do a recap of Thursday because I don't remember if I did like my page total and stuff like that. So Thursday, we finished 144 pages of Legendborn. We read The Sprite and the Gardener and finished it. It was only 88 pages. And then we started Daughter of No Worlds and we read 75 pages. So on Thursday, our page total was 307. Love that for us. And then yesterday, I ended up finishing Legendborn, and it was so incredible. The ending was so much better than the beginning of this book, in my opinion. Like, it was strong throughout, but the second half of the book was so much stronger. I literally want to run to Barnes & Noble right now and get Bloodmarked to just continue with this duology. It was so good. So yes, I gave this 5 stars. I finished it. So that was 229 pages. And then I also read another 57 pages of Daughter of No Worlds. So Friday, we ended the day with 286 pages total. Killing it. I really want to focus on the Daughter of No Worlds. I have read a little bit of the Empress of Time. I'm currently on chapter 4 of Empress of Time because I was listening to this audiobook this morning when I did my walk and then when I was getting ready and stuff like that. I don't know how many pages that is, but I can check in a second, but I don't think I'm going to continue listening to that book today. I really just want to get a lot of reading done with Daughter of No Worlds because I'm so obsessed with it, and I'm only 132 pages into that book. I love Tasana. I love Max. He's such a grumpy little grump, and I'm obsessed with that in books. I love grumpy characters, and he is the kind of teacher for Tasana who is now trying to explore her magical abilities, and we're finding more and more about Max's past and who he used to be. You can tell he's a very haunted character because of his wartime experiences. So already he's like obviously my favorite character, and then the magic in the book so far, I'm just loving it. Good morning, my friends. Happy Sunday. So the thing is, I really didn't read anything else yesterday besides the 48 pages that I listened to in The Empress of Time. I did not end up getting to The Daughter of No Worlds, which was big sad. So my total pages for Saturday was 48 pages, and yesterday was such a slacker day. I mean, I'm glad that I read something. I literally could not motivate myself to listen to or read any book. My boyfriend was home all day yesterday. We had a little like date night, but during the day, I'm not gonna lie, we totally mushed. We just had a complete potato day. I didn't even work out or anything after my walk that I did that morning. It was just a sit on the couch, watch Claire Chabon play Sims pretty much all day and playing Pokemon and stuff like that. We're gonna do the final wrap up of this challenge. We finished 3 books. We finished The Bone Witch, The Sprite and the Gardener, and Legendborn, which I'm so proud of that. Total pages that we read, adding up from all of the days, was 1,035. We are currently in the middle of 2 other books. Finished 3, in the middle of 2, DNF'd 1. So totally read 6 books. I did DNF The Queen of Myth and Monsters, which we are not sad at all about because I did not want to suffer through that book. So with that being said, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I post every Sunday and Thursday. We also do monthly reading sprints on this channel. I do my reading content and my book bullet journal content, and I will see you in my next video, my friends. Bye!